Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Snake Doc here, and today what we're going to do is just going to do a tabletop comparison of a couple different two-tone pistols here. So on this side we have the Smith & Wesson SW40VE. Go ahead and show clear here. On this side we have the Girsan MC28SA in 9mm. We'll show clear here. You can see the blue follower on the magazine here. Okay, why did I pick these two? Well, this one's loosely based off the M&P series, and this is the predecessor to the M&P series, being the Sigma line or the SW line or the SD line, whatever you want to call it. I think this gun takes quite a beating on the internet, and you know, this gun, if you know the history of it, you know, it was designed to compete with Glock because Smith & Wesson didn't have anything in the polymer frame. So to compete for law enforcement contracts came out with this, but the complaint was that the trigger pull was heavy and gritty. So there are some things that you can do to change that up. This one I have back at factory, I guess, configuration, and I don't mind the trigger. So this one happens to not have a gritty trigger in it. It is a little bit heavier, but the pull is very consistent all the way through. So it feels like a double action revolver to me, and this is just kind of a stash gun. So I don't mind having a little bit of a heavier trigger pull, seeing that there is no manual safety on it or anything like that per se. So when we look at this one, traction grips on all my guns, so this does have traction grips over the factory texture. Factory texture stops down here, so the traction grips gives you something up in here. And then I also put a couple pieces on your memory spot locations here. This one has the SW40F magazine in it, so this one actually holds 15 rounds. You can see the base plate is a little bit thicker on this, and that's how they're able to achieve slightly longer magazine that still fits flush and holds 15 rounds in it. So 15 rounds of 40 caliber in this one. This gun, based on the M&P, holds 17 rounds. So let's see if this is marked. Yes, it is. So this one holds 17 rounds. This is a Metgar magazine here, made for Girsan, so Italian-made magazine. Traction grip on here as well. Interchangeable back straps on this. Not an option on the SW or the SD lineup. So this one you do have a little bit of flexibility, as you would in the M&P lineup. Let's see, is the magazine release should be reversible because it is a double cut magazine here, so you should be able to swap it over to that side. I don't, I'm right-handed. Takedown is going to be just like an M&P, just swing the lever down once it's locked back on an empty mag. The difference between this and the M&P has the sear deactivation lever. This one does not. You actually have to pull the trigger to make it release the slide, as you do with the SW as well. So with the SW or the SD line, the striker has to be deactivated, and then it's just like a Glock takedown. So slightly retract, pull down on your tab, and off it comes. I installed an aftermarket Glock fiber optic front sight on here, so I do, the factory was just a plastic sight that was melted into place. This has a polymer rear sight on it, and you can see there's not much of a ledge on it. It's just kind of like a Novak style cut. This one is not reversible. You can see here the magazine catch is only on one side of the magazine. Other than that, this is about a Glock 19 size gun, so if we put them up together, this one has a 4 1/4 inch barrel, this one has a 4 inch barrel. So if we line up our chambers there, you can see the difference here. So look at the barrel protrusion there. So it is just that 1/4 inch difference that way. However, being a Glock 19 size gun, your grip length is going to be shorter on your Smith & Wesson as well. There you can see that magazine sticking out. If I did have the 14 round magazine on the 9mm version, it's a 16 round magazine, and you could see that it would be a little bit shorter. However, If you look, the front, because of the angle that the grip is cut on, the front of the magazines are pretty much the same. It's just that back. So this is more of a portion that would print under a t-shirt. So for concealment, this is still going to be a smaller gun. However, this is definitely a concealable pistol as well. A lot of people do conceal full-size M&P pistols. Let's throw them on the scale real quick and see what kind of weight difference there is on them. I'll try and get this in the frame so that we can see the screen on there. This will be in ounces, unloaded. Let's just lock them back on the empty mag. 29.17, so I'm guaranteeing that's going to be quite a bit heavier than this one. Yeah, 23.81, so almost a 5.5 ounce difference. That's pretty substantial. Does it feel like it in hand? Yeah, it kind of does. It's a well-balanced gun. And you know, you can put the smaller back strap on. It's not going to change much for the weight, but it will change your grip angle. The advantage that this gun has for people with smaller hands is this right here is a very short distance. So having that deep of an undercut on this frame, I mean, you can see how far my finger reaches. But if you were a small-handed person, your trigger reach is pretty small on this. This one, it's a little bit wider right here, and they have that, unfortunately they have that horseshoe style trigger. I'm not a big fan of that shape. There are aftermarket options. Apex and Galloway Precision both make a drop-in trigger that will replace that shoe. They might require a little bit of filing to clear the back the back hole in the frame. Some do, some don't. There's different reports on that. One other thing that we'll notice on this, now the SD lineup will have a traditional Picatinny rail on it. This preceded that, and this has a proprietary rail system here. It was just a slot cut in. There are adapters that are made for this that bolt clamshell around there, but they drop your Picatinny rail down, so your light's going to be down. So you might have trouble with holsters. But for a bedside or nightstand gun, that would be fine. And it's a economical option to add a traditional light to it without having to dig around and try to find something that would fit that rail. I don't even know if you can find them anymore. I don't even know what was issued for these. So you'd have to do a little bit of research on that. If you look at my other videos, remember you can throw the SD9 or the SW9 upper on this lower and it will work. However, the 40 mag supposedly is a millimeter or so thicker. So if you put a 9 mag in here, it's going to rattle around. I don't know. I just ran 9mm rounds in my 40 cal mag and it worked fine. So that is an option with this. This one only comes in 9mm, so there is no 40 caliber option in the United States for this one. The barrel is marked right there. You can see, if I bring it in, 9mm right there. Turkish made gun, American made gun. Cerakote upper on this one. Phosphate, over a phosphate finish. This one, stainless steel upper. They did make a blued version of this, and I think I would imagine it was still over a stainless upper. It was probably just some type of nitriding or some sort of finish over it. I don't believe it was a paint finish. What else can I tell you? I guess not a whole lot. Trigger is going to be much nicer with a shorter reset on this one. We know it's clear, so there's the brake, real nice and light. Here's our reset. Audible. It's a little bit long. It's not horrible. And I'll show you this one again. So this one, long, heavy, 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 heavy. Feels really heavy after just doing that one. And then brake. But that should not be how you shoot this gun. This gun should be a deliberate pull. So let's watch the reset though. It's right there, so it's almost all the way out. There's just that little bit, and then another pull right through there. So if you pull this like it's not a target gun, it's actually a really decent trigger, and there are ways of lightening it up if you look on some videos. This one, just a normal striker fired modern day trigger. So I think that's what I'm gonna wrap it up there, a 10-minute video. So hopefully I gave you guys enough information on these. Plenty of holster options for both. Most of them you could probably fit them into a Glock holster even. So the only difference you're gonna have is with that trigger guard on this guy. This one should fit M&P holsters because it's basically an M&P clone. So I guess I'll wrap it up there. I'm gonna thank you guys for watching, and always shoot safe.